Because we have this misconception that Christians should be broke. Almost there's holiness in brokenness.
You know this conversation now. I had this conversation once with somebody, and it hurts, Isaiah. It hurts. You know, I'll make this example. You have somebody in church, right? The pastor preaches. The pastor says to him, the Lord is going to open up a door for you. So they come to church, they get saved, right? They don't have anything. The pastor, the Lord is going to open up a door for you. Speedily. I speak God's speed over your life.
Yeah.
So God comes, God takes that word and he runs with it. So this guy gets the job.
Yeah.
Within 3 months, this guy gets a promotion.
Yeah.
Within a year, Isaiah, he buys a house, he buys a car. It's the Lord's doing.
Yeah, it's the Lord's doing.
Now reverse it. The pastor gets something. Within 3 months, he gets promotion. Within a year, he buys a car.
He's eating the church's money.
He's eating the church's money. Well, the very same person that got the house, that got the car, that got the promotion, is not even paying tithes.
Sure.
But they have the ability to say he's eating the church's money.
Sure.
Because they've allowed us that they know one of the things that money gives people is freedom.
Freedom.
And the church has always wanted to control their leader.
Yes.
So they know if he doesn't have money, he doesn't have the freedom. So we can always control him. And that is how our mindset has been. And that is why they have an issue. And it's cultural because you have other cultures that don't really have an issue if the pastor is rich or whether he does business or anything. But with us, we just feel like being broke is holy. And which is not.
Yeah.
Being broke is not holy. I always say this, if you look at in the Bible, business has always been a part of the Bible. They might not always speak about it. But when Jesus was born, the Bible says on that day, that while his mother was preparing to give birth, they found no place to give birth.
Yeah.
What that means, there was somebody at that time that was owning guest houses.
He was running a business.
He was running a guest house business.
Yeah.
Not only was he running a guest house business, his business was fully booked.
It was booming.
Because the Bible says there was no place for them. And then the Messiah had to go and give birth somewhere else.
Sure.
His mother had to give birth somewhere else.
Yeah.
So the Bible also speaks about the need of business. So now, purpose and being a prophet. For me, the prophet is what God has called me to do. Purpose is the ability outside of what God has called me. It's also linked to what God has called me to do. But I still have the ability to operate outside of that.
Yes.
If we look at the Apostle Paul, God calls him, but he does not lose his ability to be a tent maker.
Sure.
And that is what it is, being a prophet and still having your purpose.
Sure. Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Now I want to ask you, should Christians be in politics?
Should Christians be in politics?
What's your view on it?
I would also say the question is, should believers be in politics?
Yeah, believers.
Because I always have an argument with this thing about Christians and believers.
Yeah.
I think that believers, if you say Christians should be in politics, should they be in politics? I believe everybody can make their own decision, but I don't see anything wrong.
Yes.
With any Christian being in politics.
Me neither.
Now here's my question, right? Should Christians be in politics? I think the question we need to ask, why are Christians working for government?
Yeah. Sure, that's a good question.
Because government is politics.
Yeah, that's true. You make money.
Exactly. When you work in government, you become subject to the rules of government. You become subject to the laws of government.
Yes.
Now, why can you work for them, but you cannot vote for them?
That's good.
Why can you work for them?
That's good.
But you cannot speak about them?
No, that's good. That's good.
So now I'm saying to you, you make your own choice.
Yeah.
Right? Now, I also say this. When a church chooses a board member, what do they do?
And maybe check his track record or what?
But they vote.
They vote, yeah. So voting is it's in the church also.
You understand?
Yeah,
So the church votes for a board member, they vote for a pastor. They cast their vote. But now when it comes to government, now we want to be all holy and say no.
Yeah.
Politics is good, Isaiah. Our view and our politics has been corrupted, has brought a bad idea about politics.
Yes, that's true.
But politics has been good. We preach about Joseph. He was not a prophet. He was not a pastor. He was a prime minister.